I spent the last 5 years studying how hundreds of the most creative people in history created their best art. Painters, poets, musicians, filmmakers, you name it, across every domain, genre, and movement. And here's what I discovered. The artist of your dreams isn't a more talented version of you. They're a more honest version of you. In this video, I'm going to share the 5 most important lessons from my notes that separate artists who live their dreams from those who just dream about their potential. If you care about your dreams, your art, your music, your craft, like really care, you need to hear this. Let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. Okay, let's start with my most shocking discovery. Your limitations, your weaknesses, your flaws, they aren't obstacles to overcome. They are artistic superpowers waiting to be unleashed. And look, this goes against everything that we've been taught about becoming better artists. We think we need to eliminate our weaknesses and fix our flaws and become more well-rounded. But Debbie Allen once said, but out of limitations comes creativity. And that's what the masters actually did. Django Reinhardt lost use of 2 fingers in the fire. And instead of seeing this as a limitation, he developed a completely new guitar technique that became the foundation of gypsy jazz. And Frida was bedridden, and so she painted lying down, creating a perspective and intimacy that no standing artist could achieve. And Kurt Cobain, he couldn't sing properly by technical standards, but that raw, strained voice became the sound of a generation. You see, your artistic DNA is hidden in what you think you need to fix about yourself. Your flaw is the fingerprint of your style. Art doesn't demand you to fix yourself. It asks you to reveal yourself. So if you can't draw realistic proportions, maybe your style is more expressive distortion. And if your voice cracks when you try to sing high notes, maybe your power is in the lower tones that no one else is exploring, like emerging artists like Giveon and Miles Caton. And if you only have like 30 to 45 minutes a day to write, then maybe your genius is in writing short stories. The artist of your dreams isn't a version with no limitations. It's the version that weaponizes the limitations you already have. Because your flaws, your limitations, your weaknesses are a brush that no one else can paint with. All right, and so that brings me to the second truth. And this one will mess with your head. So the work that you're embarrassed by contains the seeds of your breakthrough. Every artist has a secret folder. Drawings they never show, songs they'll never release, stories they consider failed experiments. Even for me, for years, it was my notes. I never shared my notes on creativity, even though I obsessed over it for years. I thought it was weird, seeing the richness and powerfulness and transformative nature of creativity. But here's what I discovered studying creative breakthroughs. The work that artists are most ashamed of often contains their most original ideas. Radiohead was embarrassed by their song Creep. They thought it was too simple, too raw, too weird. But it became their biggest hit and defined alternative rock for a decade. Bob Dylan was criticized for going electric. They thought that he was betraying his folk roots, but it created some of the most influential music ever recorded. Your shame is the smoke that rises from the fire of originality. The work you hide because it's too weird, too personal, too different, that's not your failure. That's your signature trying to emerge. That's why I put myself out there, all my notes, all my research, to connect with fellow creators like you. So if you want all my notes on creativity from the last few years, just click the link in the description of this video and I'll send them to you. And also, what I actually want you to do is this as well. Go through your rejected work, the pieces you've buried, the things that you deem trash, and ask yourself, what if I'm not embarrassed by this because it's bad, but because it's too true? And I challenge you to lean more into that, whatever it is. All right. But even if you find that breakthrough, you'll face the third truth. The artist of your dreams creates work they don't fully understand. We think great artists know exactly what they're doing, that they have some master plan, some clear vision that they're executing. But oftentimes the opposite is true. The artist's job isn't to control, it's to follow. Miles Davis said he played what he didn't know, not what he knew. He literally said, don't play what's there, play what's not. Basquiat painted from his subconscious, letting images emerge without control. And David Lynch makes films that he can't explain, all intuition over logic. He once said that intuition is the key to everything in painting and filmmaking and business, everything. And that if you sharpen your intuition, then the knowingness occurs. A knowingness. Like when you fall in love and all you can say is like, when you know, you know. Like that's what knowingness is. Like you can't force it. You just have to embrace the mystery of it all. Some of the greatest art comes from the place beyond the rational mind. It emerges from the parts of you that you haven't met yet. Most people only create what they already understand, but understanding is the enemy of discovery. The artist of your dreams trust what they don't understand more than what they do. So start making work that surprises you. And if you know exactly where it's going, I challenge you to push yourself even more. Okay, so the fourth truth is a tough pill to swallow. Becoming the artist of your dreams is almost impossible to do alone. We romanticize the idea of the lone creative genius. But every time I dug deeper into those creatives' lives, that story was a lie. The biggest creative movements in history, from the Renaissance, Harlem, the Golden Ages, Silicon Valley, they were all built on community, not solitude. The community of creators sharpening each other. Look, the artist's journey is too heavy to carry solo. Doubt will try to silence you. Friends and family might not understand what you're trying to build. And if you're left to battle those forces alone, it's easy to give up on the art that matters most. The world will try to tame you. So you need to find the people who will set you free. You need to find the right environment, a space where your weird ideas aren't dismissed, they're knighted, where your flaws aren't hidden, they're celebrated as style. We're surrounded by people who remind you daily that you're not crazy for caring this much about your art, this much about your craft. A few weeks ago, this space didn't exist, but now it does. I built the World of Creatives community, and it's the most beautiful community I've ever been a part of. It's the missing ingredient that every artist needs. An online space where artists across all domains, all ages, across the entire world gather to create their best art together. And if you feel the pull in your chest right now to join our community, click the link in the description and apply today. The waitlist is long, and so I highly recommend that you get your application in sooner than later, because the artist of your dreams won't emerge in isolation. They'll emerge in the right environment. And that's exactly what we've built. All right, now, finally, the most profound truth of them all. You don't become the artist of your dreams by changing what you create. You become them by changing why you create. Most people think artistic evolution is about technique and style or subject matter. But the real transformation happens at the level of motivation. Amateur artists create to prove something, while professional artists create to discover something. When Van Gogh painted sunflowers, he wasn't trying to make pretty pictures. He was trying to capture the essence of light itself. When Maya Angelou was uh, writing poetry, she wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was trying to make sense of trauma and resilience. And when Prince made music, he wasn't following any trends. He was channeling pure creative energy with no filter. The shift from proving to discovering changes everything. Your work becomes fearless because you're not protecting an image anymore. You're exploring a mystery. You stop asking, will this be good enough? And you start asking, what is this trying to become? You stop creating for approval and you start creating for revelation. Because here's the truth that nobody taught us. The artist of your dreams isn't someone you become someday. There's someone you've been underneath all the fears and expectations and limitations that you've accepted as real. Your limitations are your superpowers. Your shame points you to your authenticity. Your confusion indicates your growth, and your motivation determines your destiny. And you do all of this in the community so you're not isolated. The artist of your dreams has been waiting inside you this whole time. Not the version that pleases everyone, the version that pleases your soul. That's who the world needs you to be. That's who you're here to become. Stop dreaming about being that artist and start removing everything that's preventing you from being them right now.